can't stop thinking about the time I pounded my friend in the car. Every time I do, I get so hard I can't think straight. Even as I type this, I have to stop ever so often to rub one out. My girlfriend Malia believes that men and women can be platonic friends. Every day she'd get into arguments with my friends about how it's possible for women and men to be friends and would constantly use our relationship as an example. I used to agree with her until a few months ago when I fell in love with her. Of course, I couldn't tell her without losing our friendship. Everything was going fine until last month when my friends and I decided to go on a road trip. My friend's minivan was a 5-seater and there were 6 of us. Obviously, none of us wanted to sit on another dude's lap, so everyone argued for Malia to do it. Eventually, she gave in, but on the condition that she sat in my lap. Malia is gorgeous. She has large melons and a big, tight gut. Our friends would constantly hit on her, and it was due to that she wanted to sit on me. I sat in the far back and this also gave Malia chances to stretch in the empty space beside us. The first hour was awkward, but by the second hour, we got comfortable enough for her to lean back against me. As we crossed into Louisiana, we hit a pothole and so began what was a horrifying yet blissful experience. As most people know, it's pretty easy to get hard. It also didn't help that the love of my life wore a skirt. And my thoughts went to how her opening was just a thin cloth away. I could feel myself getting harder. I took deep breaths to try to calm myself. Another pothole shook the minivan and plan B was to pray she didn't notice. Malia cleared her throat and shifted slightly. "Sorry," I whispered. Gosh, I was embarrassed. There was nothing I could do to relieve myself and the next pit stop wouldn't be for a few miles. "It's okay, can't be helped," she replied. I closed my eyes and just hoped it would go away. But it was like an onslaught of potholes and crappy roads and a jolt of pleasure that caused me to instinctively grab her hips. Each rumble and bump that tossed her slightly in the air and back on my pickle drove me insane. I wanted so desperately for my meat to accidentally slip out of my shorts and right into her cat. I wanted to say, "Frick this," and throw her on the minivan floor and bang her brains out doggy style. As I felt myself slowly reaching climax, I wrapped my arms around her waist and buried my face in her. Simultaneously, she pressed her lips against mine while also adjusting her position to be more comfortable. We stayed there for a moment, our connection deepening. Our closeness created a sense of intimacy, and just when I thought the sensation couldn't get any more intense, I felt Malia shift her position, maintaining the connection between us. We stayed close, sharing a moment of deep connection. Our bond strengthened, and just when I thought the emotional experience couldn't get any more profound, I felt Malia make a slight adjustment, maintaining our shared closeness. Then, we continued our journey together. Thank goodness my dad had turned on the radio, otherwise, he and my mom would have easily heard unusual sounds. Malia was shaking uncontrollably, and I could feel her warming up. She leaned close to my ear again while maintaining our connection, and while trying to control her voice, which was filled with strong emotions, she whispered, "Something unexpected is going to happen." She leaned back, and I slowly nodded again in agreement, not knowing what to prepare for. At this point, the tension was building, and I could feel a heightened emotional state. Her sounds were close to overwhelming, but I was trying to hold on to my composure for as long as I could, wanting to support her through her experience. Malia gently took both of my hands, placing them over her mouth, trying to contain her emotions. She began to shake. She pressed against my side with surprising force, and then, a surge of emotions erupted. Intense feelings of love flowed between us. Malia expressed her feelings, her emotions taking complete control of her. The intense moment of love sent me into my own emotional experience, and I felt myself overcome with feelings. We shared a profound connection, as we let our emotions flow. Finally, Malia leaned into my arms, and we held each other. We stayed like that for several minutes, our connection still strong. As we came down from the intensity of the moment, Malia slowly adjusted her position, as our shared experience continued to unfold. She shifted, and we continued our journey smoothly back towards home for what was sure to be an eventful summer.